threaten my people with slavery and death.
This is madness!
Madness. This is Sparta!
Ralph Waldo Emerson's poetry, with its themes of nationalism and transcendentalism, reflects the hopes and dreams of a young nation.
Ralph Waldo Emerson lived in Boston, Massachusetts throughout his life, from 1803 to 1882. Emerson's poetry was majorly influenced by the atmosphere of the newly formed American colony. He was also a key leader for the growing ideas of transcendentalism. Transcendentalism is a way of thinking that true spirituality comes from the internal intellectual thought and a relationship with nature. It requires its followers to live to the best of their ability. While looking for other forms of art that parallel Emerson's message, I examined his poem, A Nation's Strength. It talks about a nation whose fortitude comes from the men and women inside it. Without the men who for goodness sake stand fast and suffer long, the nation would be nothing. The movie 300 is a representation of men who fight for the sake of their country, not for glory or honor, but for the greater good of Sparta. When the Persian god King Xerxes threatened Sparta to either join his empire or die, the leader of the Spartan army yells out a heroic,
This is Sparta!
and proceeds to kill the king's messenger. This action embodies what being a Spartan meant to all citizens. This nationalism is what drove the Spartan warriors to fight for their country in such a fierce way. A lot like the newly formed America Emerson was living in, Sparta was a country filled with young men willing to die for their nation. Also, like Emerson's poetry, the Spartans used a social form of transcendentalism in their governmental system. They worked together to create a near-utopic world. Spartans were essentially bred to be the best warriors they could be. They were trained from an early age how to be a leader, a brother, and a man, so that when the world's armies are up against them, they could be the men who, for truth and honor's sake, stand fast and suffer long for the greater good of Sparta. The other art connection, the North Bridge Monument, symbolizes the watershed moment of America's shift from dependency on Britain to independence. The battle occurred on Lexington Concord's North Bridge on April 19, 1775. This battle was the first skirmish between the British and the American colonists, and was represented by Emerson's phrase, "the shot heard around the world." The sheer determination of the American colonists relates to the transcendental idea that inner strength and determination will lead to success, despite the odds. The Americans were so hooked on the idea of freedom that a new wave of nationalism captured their spirits. This same atmosphere of power and confidence is what Emerson lived in throughout his entire life. The monument was an intent at remembering the past grievances Americans had to pay, but like Emerson's poem, Concord Hymn, it is a vow to live their lives in a way that redeems the sacrifice of the American soldiers. I'm Major Backlow, and I thank you for watching.